Hi guys, it's Jessica again, and today I'm going to be doing a different type of video. I'm going to be doing a video for Ehlers Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month. A lot of people don't know, and mainly my family know, that I have Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. And Ehlers Danlos Syndrome is a very rare disease and a very painful disease. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A to share with you and explain with you and hopefully answer some of the questions that a lot of people may be asking you, or you have asked other people, and how it affects all of us suffering with EDS. So I've got some cards, and the first question that it is the most asked question, is what is EDS, or Ehlers Danlos Syndrome? Ehlers Danlos Syndrome is, in short term run, it is the lack of collagen in your body. So without collagen, basically you fall apart. Your bones are like weaker, your muscles and tissues are weaker. Your hyperflex and mobility, which means you can do all some crazy stuff. You're really like, things don't go the way they're supposed to, basically. Joints pop out, shoulders pop out, knees pop out, hips dislocate, toes, fingers, wrists dislocate, shoulders dislocate, you name it. It doesn't work. It's also very painful because depending on what type of EDS you've got, because there's 6 types of EDS, but we'll get into that later. Basically, it's very painful because you're constantly in pain, you have little energy because you always have to focus on every step and prepare for everything when you have EDS, so that you don't end up in hospital. So that's basically what EDS is. It's not fun, and I'll be putting a link down there in the description below. So if you want to find out more about EDS and all the different types, I'll be putting the National Foundation EDS link below, and that will take you to the website where you can read everything about EDS. Question 2. I get this said to me all the time. Well, from most people. It's more of a saying, but they always say, but you don't look sick. No, I don't a lot of the time. EDS is one of those diseases where it's not visible on the outside, but on the inside, it's like if you could literally like have an X-ray scene of me, or if you could just see the inside, it's pretty bad. I always look like I'm not sick because EDS isn't that type of disease that makes you look sick. It's not like, this is just an example, it's not like it has the symptoms of example, a person with cancer, they lose their hair from chemotherapy. But a person with EDS, their pain and everything that goes wrong with them is on the inside, so you don't see the symptoms of what's happening from it unless you really know what the symptoms are and you really know that person really well. You won't know what they're going through. So that's just please don't ever judge anyone saying you don't look sick, you can't be sick, you look fine, you look healthy, because that person could be really unwell. So yeah, it's not that we don't look sick, because we are sick, it's just that symptoms vary very differently, and also depending on what EDS you have. Question 3 is, can anyone really be in that much pain? The answer is yes. The pain that I go through is so unbearable sometimes that you just don't want to get out of bed. It is so painful that you just want to take your whole skeleton out and just be limp, because sometimes it's so painful that you can't bend anything. And I know a lot of people would be thinking by watching this, because I've done skating videos and that, and well, how come you can do skating videos and not dislocate anything? The thing is with that, I've only done 3 skating videos, and I haven't done any more because of this reason. Because of my Ehlers Danlos, because I've been too sick lately. And I wanna make this video to make people aware that, you know, this is a real disease, it's a rare disease, and what better way to do it than for Ehlers Danlos Awareness Month? So, yes, to answer that question, people can be in that much pain where they're in pain every day, and it's just not visible, because we've learned to cope with it, we've learned to deal with those sorts of things, because, well, you're born with this disease. So it's just like if you were born paraplegic or quadriplegic and you're born with a wheelchair and you've never walked before. It's the same sort of thing. You've learnt to deal with it. It's just a part of your life. So you don't necessarily think twice about it. So question 4 is, I get this question a lot. Is it curable? No. There is no cure for Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. So, as I mentioned before, there's 6 types of EDS. My EDS is called kyphosis, scoliosis, ptosis, I think that's how you pronounce it, EDS, which means I also have scoliosis and kyphosis. And I also have, it's a mixture between the hypermobility, the scoliosis, the kyphosis, the hyperflexomobility, the ruptures that can happen with your organs, and because the tissues are so thin, your heart can enlarge, all that sort of stuff. And none of the EDSs are curable. They've opened a clinic in America, I know that much, but I won't be able to get there. That's not possible. So no, it's not curable. You can only manage symptoms that you experience. Question 5 is, I always get this asked to me, and I mean, not that it's really anyone's business, but I always get asked, when was I diagnosed and what did the tests involve? The second part I can understand, but I'll answer it anyway. I was diagnosed when I was 8 years old, so I'm 21 now, and I've had to live with it all my life, and I was born with it, that I got told by the specialist. And the tests that involve are blood tests, geneticists, flexibility tests, measurements, CTs, MRIs, a whole bunch of tests basically happened to get diagnosed, and it took about 5 months to get diagnosed because you had to wait and get everything, and then they had to check all these different things. And so yeah, that's just a rundown of some of the tests that involves. Question 6. What can I do if I suspect EDS? The only thing and the best thing to do is, if you suspect that you might have EDS, go to your doctor and ask to be referred to a geneticist, because they will have more of an idea on what you're talking about more than what your GP will. So talk to them and ask to be referred to one of those specialists, a geneticist specialist, because they will be able to start you off with the testing and see if you do have EDS. So that's that. Question 7. How do I cope with it? That's basically, I've kind of already answered that one. I cope with it because I've had to all my life, and it's just natural to me. People always say, oh, you're so strong, how do you do it, how do you cope with it? But it's just something I cope with because I was born with it, and it's nothing out of the ordinary for me. But to other people, it would be. Like, if it suddenly happened to someone, like, you know, someone suddenly got dislocated things or got really bad pain, it wouldn't be normal. But for me, it's normal, and I've just dealt with it my whole life. So like I said before, if you were born a paraplegic, I'm using that as an example again, but if you were born a paraplegic or a quadriplegic, and you've never stood up and walked freely without any aids or anything, you know, it would be normal for you, like growing up in a wheelchair. It's the same thing. Same thing as if you were born blind, same thing as if you couldn't hear, same thing as all of those. It's how I cope with it, it's the same. How many types of EDS are there? Again, I didn't realize that I would have already answered this, but I have. There is 6 types of EDS, and if you want to know more about the types of EDS, there's a link down in this description for the National EDS Foundation, and they'll explain everything to you on that website, because it is legitimately the best website ever. So, question 9. Can EDS be dangerous? Yes, it can be very dangerous. Also, depending on the types of EDS you have, it can be very dangerous. Vessels can explode, blood vessels. Your heart can enlarge. The stomachs can warp. Brains can grow. Like, it's hard to explain, but not so much. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna grow. But your brain, it's hard to explain. It can sort of warpish sort of thing, which can cause seizures and everything, and send off misfire. So doctors also mislead it for epilepsy, which isn't the case at all. It's completely different. And so yeah, and you can get bleeds on the brain if blood vessels burst and all sorts of things. So yeah, EDS can be very dangerous. It can be life-threatening at times if you're not careful, because things can get misdiagnosed, because EDS is so, it's not known by doctors, and doctors are not trained by EDS. They may have heard about it, but they're not trained in it. So yeah, question 10 is, can it be passed down to your children? If you have a child, and can it be passed down through your genetics? Yes, that answer is yes, it can be, because it can also be passed down say you have like a child, that child might not get it, but if you have another child, that child can get it. So it can skip generations of your children. So one child might not have it, but the next child you have may have it. And if you're going to have children with EDS, it is a very high chance, like a 90% chance, that your child will develop in the womb EDS and be born with EDS. So yes, it can be passed down. And that's the most likely reason of someone in your family having EDS, by being passed down. Personally, I don't know if anyone in my family has EDS. Question 11. Can you catch it? It always makes me laugh when someone says to me, it's only happened a couple of times, but can I catch it? And I'll be like, no. Although it used to be called Ehlers Danlos disease, it's now changed to syndrome, because Ehlers Danlos you can't catch. It's not like a cold or flu where if you sneeze, you're going to get it. It's not like that. You're born with it. It's just like a mutation of a gene or something like that. So, no, you can't catch it. Question 12. Does it cause medical problems for me? It causes medical problems for me, yes. And it does for most people suffering from EDS. Some people can be born with holes in heart. Some people, it ranges from a whole bunch of stuff. Some people have more allergies than other people with EDS. Some people can't, walk that far from EDS. A lot of people, 95% of people with EDS, have to have some form of walking aid or wheelchair, because we have to consume as much energy as possible. It can cause breathing problems, it can cause dietary problems, it can cause like respiratory, which is breathing. It can cause a whole cardiac problems. It can cause a lot of stuff that just isn't good. And for me particularly, it causes me to have seizures because of my brain warping in a such a way. It causes me to have tummy problems. I can't tolerate a lot of foods, if that makes sense. It causes me. It causes me to dislocate really easily all my bones. It causes me to break bones easily. It causes me to tear tissues. The scarring issues where, like, if you have an operation and you naturally get sewn up, your scars, they like stretch and warp, and they don't look like scars. So yeah, it causes those sorts of things. And I keep growing. My bones don't know when to stop growing, so I'm just like growing, but my muscles have stopped stretching, and they're just like stretching and stretching, so it's end up crippling me. So yeah. What are the symptoms? Question 13 is, what is the symptoms of EDS? Symptoms of EDS are really stretchy skin, and like when I mean stretchy skin, I mean stretchy skin. Like you can I don't know if you can see that, but you can like pull. That's my arm. You can like pull your skin, like stretchy. Like that. I'm not going to do that anymore because it can scar and everything. But when I mean stretching out, I mean like you can like just pull it. Another symptom is skin that tears easily, skin that is really soft but it's really thin. Also joints dislocating, that's another symptom. If you muscle weakness, there is some hyperflexible mobility, and that's basically the main symptoms of EDS, well, classic EDS. Question 14 is, how can I learn more on EDS? Like I said before, I'm going to put a link in the description, so if you want to find out more about EDS, click on the link and it will tell you everything. But also just go on Google, type in EDS, or Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, and that will show you information on it. Question 15 is, what helps me explain all my illnesses, such as my EDS and everything that's wrong with me? Well, one second. I have this cool little thing called my medical book. I also have this cool little card here. It tells a brief thing on. It's a brief little description sort of thing about the major things that can happen with EDS and what EDS is. And this is a pocket card as well, but I've just laminated it, stuck it on my front of my medical book, and I always make the doctors read this before they do anything with me, so that they know that this is really dangerous and you need to be careful with me. So, the thing that I make it easier with explaining my illness to doctors is I say, here's my medical folder, this is my EDS card, I really need you to read my card first before we get into anything. The next thing that I have in my book is, which is really handy to have, is all my medical conditions and allergies. I'm not going to show you them on here because, that's like personal. I have my allergies, the medications I take as of this year, and basically I just have a few pages of something like, what's in progress, like doctor's stuff, medical issues due to EDS, and I can probably show you that. It's just like the things I wrote down is like joints dislocate, stomach affected, tiredness, seizures of brain growth / warping, bones continue to grow, muscle elasticity and skin elasticity. They're the main things that affect me with EDS. And basically, I've just got like a whole bunch of like paperwork and recent things that have been happening in and out of doctors and hospitals and stuff, and I keep them all in my folder, and you can decorate yours whatever you like, but I recommend people doing this because it's very, 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 very handy, because it's saved a lot of time having to explain everything. And then especially if you're in a situation where you're at the hospital, you're not feeling well, and you can't really explain anything, and you forget things, it's really handy to just go, look, I have a medical folder, it explains everything, just take it and read it, because, it sounds weird, but it helps a lot. So that's the thing that I do, and I recommend it for people because it saved my butt heaps of times. And that was the last question that I had for this video. So I thank you for watching my Ehlers Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month video, and if you could please share this video, also to like, comment, subscribe. If you have a YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing more videos recently, it's just I have been really unwell lately, so please understand that. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. The likes really help and the views help, so I really want to help as many people as possible with, not just with this video, but with all my other videos I've done on YouTube. With people that have disabilities and people that don't have disabilities. Because you already know that I have autism and a moderate intellectual disability, and I just want to help people and show people that you're not alone and you can do things no matter what. It doesn't matter if you got a disability. You do things that you want to do. That's why I do the skating. I may have a debilitating disease that's going to get worse and worse and worse as I get older. But I'm doing these things because I don't want to live my life stuck in the mud. I want to experience things. I want to go out there and I want to do things. And I'm just going to be extra careful when I do things, but I want to show people that, it doesn't matter, that if you're disabled, don't be afraid or ashamed of your disability, because you're just like everyone else, and everyone else needs to see that, not to be afraid of people like me or anyone else that has a disability, because it's not fair that we get treated differently, because we are just like everyone else. We like to learn, have fun, play games, learn. I already said that, but everyone just needs to get along and have fun, because you live once, and if you don't enjoy life now, well, it's really sad. So keep your chin up, share this video, like, and I'll see you guys next time for another awesome video. I'm thinking my next video I will probably be doing, hopefully I'll be doing either, most likely it will be a Lego one, because I've already done a Lego one, but I've just got to upload it and edit it. But I'll probably be doing maybe another Lego one. I'm sort of leaning to the Lego because it's a lot easier than going skating, especially because, well, where I am, I'm in Australia, and it's heading towards winter time, and it's been getting really cold and rainy and wet, and you can't really skate in the rain anyway. So with that note, I'll see you soon. Bye.